Once again, we find ourselves back here at the studios to talk to another amazing artist as we head towards the Cronulla Jazz and Blues Festival. You're live here with the Cronulla Jazz and Blues Festival podcast. I'm your host, Adam Simon, and today we've got another incredible artist. This year's lineup, I mean, it poured down rain last year. We're not going to mention that again and again, but we've got a great lineup this year to really kick us back into gear, and the team down in Cronulla are doing a great job, including getting the amazing Nathan Cavaleri for a great special night at the Brass Monkey and coming up. So this is a young man who started as a very, very young man and so on, catapulted into from, our local scenes and our cereal box to international fame and playing with some amazing names. So I thought, why not? Let's have a chat and see, because where he is musically now is amazing. Journey is amazing. It was part of ABC's Australian Story as well, which is a great program. If you haven't seen it, I encourage you to watch it. But certainly, this young man, Nathan Cavaleri, welcome to the show.
Mate, thanks for having me.
Mate, I want to take it back. I don't want to take it back to the child prodigy and everything. I want to take it back to the first time you picked up a guitar or touched a guitar. Do you have that memory?
Yeah, very much so, because I wasn't supposed to touch my dad's guitar. That was the thing. It was like I remember opening up the case of his, I forget which guitar it was. I just remember it was kind of like a wooden goldy color, and I just put my hands on it, and I knew I was doing the wrong thing. I knew I was going to get punished for it because, hands off dad's guitar. And but I think me pushing those boundaries and walking through those flames of fear to get what I really, really wanted, showed my dad and my mum that it was just it something that I was magnetized to, that resonated with me on a deeper level that goes beyond what I could possibly explain, given how young I was.
I love how I connected with you so young. I've seen you many times throughout your career, both when you're younger and in more recent times. And the guitar has always seemed to fuse to you. The guitar's always become part of you. And I think that's like Stevie Ray had that, for instance. And it becomes part of your body. Your fingers and some become so connected to it. And I think when you pick up an instrument at quite a young age, whether it be a piano or anything like that, is that something that you've always found it's such a fluid motion for you?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't. If you ask my parents, they'll say that I wasn't a natural at it, but my passion was something that was natural. So I had a work ethic that meant that I just kept pushing and pushing, and I tried to work out whatever challenge I was trying to move through at the time, and but my connection with the guitar probably deepened when I had leukemia, because it allowed me to express emotions that I couldn't really put words to, and I'd say that's a good part of the emotional expression that people knew me for, from the age of 8 up until maybe when it got a little corrupted throughout high school, was because of all that. Like before I was sick, I didn't play what I knew from that deep place in here. Yeah.
Without getting too spiritual, do you think the ability to connect with an instrument contributed to your healing process?
Yeah, 100%. Because going through mental health challenges later in life, I learned how the mind and the body are connected, and how the state of my mind directly affected how I felt. And I had chronic fatigue and adrenal fatigue and all these offshoot physical challenges, that when I got even though I had to work on my body, I still had to work on my mind. And the body followed the mind, and the body and the mind followed the body, and that's kind of the cycle. So I think I give a lot of talks for the Starlight Foundation, which I'm going up to Darwin to do next week. But I talk a lot about the importance of doing something that you love, that lights you up while you are battling. The doctors were handling one aspect of the healing process, and I felt like the spirits of my family around me and their energies, along with me playing music and guitar and having purpose to want to fight through, just does something to the cells in your body. It keeps them it encourages the cells in the body to go from being, protective and disconnected to open, connected, and plowing through.
Yeah.
So
I get
that's
that.
my theory way.
I was born and raised on country music. I love country music. Look what it's done to me. I'm only 22 years old, and look what it's done to me. So, it's knocked me around a lot. So trains and mama and prison and so on. So,
Yeah.
mate, I want to talk a little bit. One of the things I've found is that we did this podcast last year, and I do a few other things as well, is that this concept of my father, the musician, often comes up. And like my father's
really?
record collection. We're actually going to start a podcast later on this year called My Father's Record Collection. Because it's such a thing. I remember like my father's copy of Hot August Night and my father's copy of Roy Orbison's Memphis and so on, sitting on the floor, what the carpet felt like when I dropped the needle on it and so on. Was Dad, your father, a big musical? He said he played guitar. What type of music was he into?
Blues.
Blues?
Yeah, I mean, not just blues, but I mean, blues was the center of it. But that's how I got exposed to Dire Straits as well. Was his styles that are around it, and I think he was just really also big on the guitar, but melody, telling stories through the guitar, and
Yeah.
and he was not really into any of the shredder stuff. He just wanted a good melodic story, and that's what he encouraged during my development as well. And his theory was people don't need to be musicians to feel what a musician does if you are telling a story through
Yeah.
what you're playing on guitar. And I back that still to this day. But yeah, I mean, his record collection, which by the way, I will say, I caught him almost throwing it out.
What?
His record collection.
No.
Yeah, so we're doing some renovations, and I saw the skip bin, and his whole record collection is on there. And I'm like, what the hell are you doing, mate? And he's like, well, I don't have, I don't use them anymore. I just use Spotify. I'm like, whoa. And even just, even just showing him the value. You know how much money this original Led Zeppelin album is? Like, why were you chucking it? Like, if you're going to get rid of it, sell the bloody things. But I took it. I've got it now. So
I think we've just had the federal election last. I think we should campaign the current government to make that a 2-year imprisonable offence. If you throw a vinyl collection out, jail 2 years. No court, just straight to jail straight away. So
I almost took it personally when I saw it on the pile.
I had the pleasure, or I'm not sure in hindsight was, my uncle, shout out Tony Simon, bought me his record collection the night before my HSC. So, so there's books there, and there's 400 records here, and so
incredible.
Haven't guessed what I did to about 2 a.m. that day.
What a distraction.
Every time I look at my HSC mark 35 years later, I go, you're responsible for this, mate. So just, it's all good. You mentioned Dire Straits before. I've never met, I've talked to someone who met B.B. King the other day, and I've met B.B. myself years ago. But Knopfler would be a fascinating character. Knopfler's to me, like the Liam Neeson of the music industry. Quiet, but so powerful in what he does every time he steps on stage. Whether it be the Dire Straits stuff or the stuff with Emmylou Harris, it's just like that Golden Heart album, and Darling Pretty and Cannonball and so on. They're such subtle but strong songs. What was he like as a man?
Well, I was obviously quite young, but I remember him to just be, quite reserved, grounded, warm, and just purposeful. He strikes me as somebody who he might not say much, but when he says something, you're like, whoa. So I it was. I was also probably a little bit starstruck because that was the first famous person I had met. You see a photo of them, and you go attached to that photo and the music, and all of a sudden it comes to life, and it's just a real surreal trip. I was also a bit worried about my arm because a week before I was scheduled to jam with Mark at Air Studios in London. I fractured my wrist swinging on a rope off a tree. This one of all things. So I was, but he was incredibly generous. He had a guitar waiting for me when I returned. Yeah, which I found out much later was from his collection. It wasn't from the factory.
Yeah.
So there's photos of him. Yeah. Actually, I've got it here.
Make sure Dad doesn't throw that out.
Yeah, I know. So I don't really tell many people about this, especially during after I found out how much his guitar collection.
Yes, yes, I'd imagine
For.
so. Well, thanks for sharing with us. Fantastic.
Yeah, no worries.
I want to come. We're going to talk about what you're doing currently in a moment, but I just want to touch on, if I can. Hopefully, it's okay.
Yeah.
Mental health is such an important thing for us. And something we have Are You Okay Day, and it's a fantastic day. But I think Are You Okay Day should be I'm Not Okay Day. That's okay, but as someone who's had some issues as well, and also been an advocate for it, how important is it for young musicians, especially, to make sure that they're reaching out, that they get supported, and they have the courage to address those issues?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, I feel like the encouragement to reach out sits in the world a little bit of crisis management rather than prevention. I this the what I the space that I work in, and I'm putting together a couple of online courses at the moment that are focused on educating those, particularly in the performance and creative world, on the mind and the body, and I want to share all the tools and all the things that helped me uh, get beyond some really dark times that I went through. Um, I scratched my head as to, like, there wasn't a single lesson that I learnt throughout the process where I went, wow, that's out of this world. It was kind of more like, well, duh. How the
Yeah,
hell did I not know this before? This makes complete sense. And
common sense, complete sense.
yeah, absolutely. And it's just, there just hasn't been the time, and it's getting better today in schools. Like, they have the Resilience Project, which I was interviewed on the Imperfects podcast, and those guys founded the Resilience Project, which kind of helped kids in primary school and also high school understand what's going on in their minds and their bodies, and encourage healthier habits, and it all comes down to education. There's
Yes,
nothing, unless you have had a proper, over a period of time, long clinical diagnosis that hasn't been diagnosed in 15 minutes in by your GP. The rest of it's just education, a misunderstanding on what's going on
yes, exactly right.
inside.
Hats off to
That's
you for the bravery to share that and the honesty with yourself and everyone else. Do that program.
yeah,
You know where else needs that help, especially a couple of music jails and correctional centres. I met an
yeah,
inmate once, and he said, Adam, I didn't go into jail with a mental health problem, but I sure came out with several.
yeah. Wow.
And I remember,
Yeah,
Bill Chambers has done some stuff in jail, and Lady Audrey Halls has done some stuff, Catherine Britt, and
yeah.
I've been saying
It's
for
funny.
quite a while, we need a lot more
Yeah,
help, and music can heal
yeah,
that.
yeah, absolutely. And the my cousin, she works in that space in at Long Bay, and always says they're under resourced. So
Cool. Bring us up forward to 2025. We're going to be at the Brass Monkey. What date have we got here? It's somewhere on my
May
mini
30th.
screen. May 30th. There we go. Brass
Ah.
Monkey. It's a ticketed show, but guys, don't muck around. Hyper Butcher opens. Fantastic.
Oh,
Hyper Butcher is
he is
the next.
amazing. Oh,
Fantastic. I can't wait to see you guys together, because I think what a great thing. And often you get there, I might go and see the support act. This is where you dine to see both. So, guys,
no,
and Hyper brings a
you got,
crowd too. It's
yeah, and also, like, it's one thing to watch an artist an up and comer that blows you away, but then when you meet them and they're awesome and they're just good people,
yeah.
that makes all the more
What I
better.
love
So
about her is something I think I get when I see you live, is the same person off stage as you are on stage. That's that
oh
authenticity
yeah,
comes. I think
yeah,
that's authentic. Talking about formulas and algorithms these days, we do.
yeah,
Authenticity equals longevity, really, and
yeah,
longevity
yeah,
equals a fan base, and a fan base. So,
yeah, yeah.
blessed to have
Way to,
that. But
yeah.
if you see, I must apologise if you see your streams have gone up today for I Want to Dance with Somebody. That's me. Okay, I've been flogging that. So, guys, if you haven't
Oh,
heard, jump on and hear what
that,
Nathan's been doing lately. Fantastic cover of Rising Sun. Fantastic cover of Rising Sun. It was originally a blues song. I have to say, Cultures were always a blues band.
yeah.
But then he goes into the single came earlier this year, I Want to Dance with Somebody, the cover of I'm not going to say anymore. Let's go and get this song up on the charts somewhere, because I fogged it today, no end. I was stuck in Victoria. But what came from listening to your music recently, Joy, is that something that you feel when you play live and record as well? Because I see you on stage and you're smiling, you seem to be happy, and then you go and cover something like a Whitney Houston pop cover,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you just felt good. I just like, I want to play that again, repeat,
It's It's funny. It's taken me some time to get back to that space of joy, and I would attribute that to those darker years I
Yeah.
went through where I felt lost, and I reconnected with music because I actually didn't believe that I would be out there doing it anymore. So the fact that when I wrote a song, when I played a song, when I listened to a song, it wasn't attached to the goal of whether it's gonna blow up or whether how it'll go live. It just brought it back to just self expression, and I've held on to that connection, and then once working through my fears to be able to get back up on stage again, getting to the other side of that and just keeping it real, it brings me so much joy. And I mean, the purpose of performance is connection for me. Like if I just wanted to just express myself and that's it, then I do this in my
Mm.
studio, but I want to, through self-expression, connect to people and hopefully resonate something that's going on inside here for them, whether it's sadness or excitement or just wanting to let go. And that's the journey of my actual set that I'm doing at the moment. We do go to some deep places, and I see people who, you wouldn't think shed
Yeah.
a tear, and then we bang, and when we bang hard with some of those rockers, and I tell stories as well throughout it because this, ever since I returned to the stage, I've really enjoyed the storytelling aspect to it, whether it's you're telling the story through the songs, whether it's lyrics or on the guitar, or you're just literally telling a story like this. So, and I think that balance is really lighting me up as well. So, that joy is that you're seeing there is definitely real.
Well, we're going to light up with together. We're going to share that joy. You are going to this show, guys. 2 pairs of socks. Right? How he plays, he rocks out. Everything he does is done with that joy and that passion. And I'm going to be standing there. I'm going to be there. I'm going to walk out the front of the Brass Monkey. Just you. If every person I spot that's not smiling, I'm going to go back in until they smile because they will definitely feel that joy and that passion. And as a person who's been fortunate enough to watch you, mate, congratulations on it. It's been ebbs and flows, but certainly we can't wait to have you at the Cronulla Jazz and Blues Festival. I could talk to you all day. I've got a million and one questions, but we might catch up backstage before the gig and shoot a little quick prompter thing, see how we go.
Yeah, sure.
We'll be down at Cronulla all weekend, so maybe we can catch up. And yeah, I got a lot of questions. You're an interesting
And
person, and your career is fantastic.
yeah, thank you. And if you guys want to check out what I'm doing at the moment, I just dropped a song called "Mum Is Coming," which tells the story about um, what it was like touring with my mum while I was going through puberty, and that's a fun little blues rocker. And I've also got my first ever live album dropped
Live at the
a
Weedy.
few weeks. Yeah, live at the
Yeah.
Weedy. So, and that's sort of the setup that I'm bringing to the Brass Monkey as well. So,
Fantastic. We're going to put all the
yeah.
links to Nathan's website, all his socials, all going to be in the show notes. But Nathan, look, we'll see you in Cronulla in a few weeks' time. Thank you so much for your time and
Thank you,
congratulations.
mate.
Bring that joy. And as I say, Piper's going to bring about 400 people with her too, so from memory. So it's going to be a great
Awesome.
night. Friday,
Yeah.
30th of May at the Brass Monkey. Tickets now on sale, but I do encourage you, do not wait till the last minute. Because,
Small venue.
man,
Jump on it.
small venue, but an even better place to share that joy and that connection.
Absolutely.
Amazing artist.
Yeah.
Nathan Cavaleri, thank you so much. We'll see you in Cronulla.
Thanks, mate.